Sometimes you don't know what you're missing until you reach out to touch it. Sometimes you can't see how important something is until it steps back into the light. And sometimes you miss a love you almost didn't lose. But on a serious note, when you need to recapitulate what happened in the past 1 week in your region, things that probably you have missed out, this is your show. Hello everyone, I'm Tamal and let's get started with the week gone by. Just 60 minutes of yours and you know everything you need to know about South Asia the past week. Battle rages during peace talks with Taliban in Afghanistan. Kabul hotel attacked, spotlight once again on the feasibility of troops withdrawal from the war-torn nation. Public and political anger at weeks of cross-border shelling from Pakistan boiled over in Afghanistan. As protesters took to the streets of the capital, lawmakers now demand an explanation from the Afghan government. In a landmark event, Bangladesh's parliament abolished non-partisan caretaker government system that oversees general elections amid protests from the opposition that ruling parties are trying to rig the polls. Is land the biggest obstacle to big projects in India? With the POSCO project in Orissa and Singur in West Bengal turning into a political hot potato, there seems to be no end to the land wars. It's shocking and surprising. 21 children died in Kolkata's government hospital in a span of just 72 hours. It's a huge blow to the state health department. People complain apathy and negligence from hospital authorities. It's shocking and many call it unacceptable. 21 infants died in Kolkata's BC Roy Hospital within a span of just 72 hours. Hospital authorities said the children were admitted to the emergency ward separately over the last 1 week for various diseases and were critical in condition. However, the bereaved families have a different story to narrate. They complain of apathy and negligence from the hospital administration. It's a huge blow to the state health department.
5 crib deaths on Thursday morning. 21 in less than 72 hours. And 40 over the past 1 week. It's shocking. Kolkata's only referral government-administered BC Roy Hospital seems to have turned into a death trap. Here's a look at the horrifying statistics. On June 24th, 6 infants died in a span of few hours. A day after, on 25th June, 3 more died. 26th was a better day. Thankfully, no one was dead. But the very next day, 27th, balanced with the average of the past few days per day, 7 cribs breathed their last. On 28th, another 7. On 29th, 12. 30th, the last day of the month, the stats stood at 17, with another 5 infants giving up on Thursday. But the horror continued on the first day of July as well. 3 more infants lost their lives. What followed next was severe agitation. People took to the streets, blocked roads in Kolkata. Agitating people heckled doctors at the BC Roy Hospital and also ransacked the premises. A heavy deployment of police at the spot brought the situation under control. Parents of the deceased infants complain of apathy and negligence from the hospital authorities. As one shocking number after the another tumbled out, a stunned state administration went into huddle. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who apparently is also the state health minister, formed a committee to probe the deaths and asked for a report within 24 hours.
অনেক গরিব মানুষ আছেন হয়তো ঠিকমতো চিকিৎসা করতে পারেন না অনেক সময় ডায়রিয়া হয়ে যায় অনেক সময় নানা রকম কারণও হতে পারে কিন্তু আমি কোনো কারণকেই অবহেলা করে গুরুত্ব কম দেওয়ার কথা ভাবতে পারি না
A report submitted by State Health Secretary appeared to defend the hospital and blame the previous left front regime for apathy towards healthcare in the districts, which had led to an overload on city hospitals. Authorities at the hospital called 4 deaths a day quite normal and said all the babies were admitted with serious complications and adequate care was taken to save them. But that did little to convince the parents and kin of the dead children.
রাত্রিবেলা বাচ্চা নিয়ে এসেছি বলেছে ওখানে বসুন আমরা এখন আরাম করি তারপরে দেখব ডাক্তারটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি বাচ্চা 12 বছর অবধি তো দেখার নিয়ম এইখানে আপনি 12 বছর হয়ে গেলে আপনি পারবেন না 11 বছর হলে দেখতে পারবেন না
আমার একটা বাচ্চা এক সপ্তাহ ভর্তি ছিল জন্ডিসের জন্য এরা কিন্তু জন্ডিসের কোনো চিকিৎসাই করেনি
Sadly, this hospital has a horrifying history, or rather, call it tainted. In 2002, 14 infants admitted in the hospital died in 48 hours. In 2004, there were 7 crib deaths in a day. 2 years later, in 2006, 22 infants died in a span of 3 days. The crippling condition of state-run hospitals is a huge matter of concern and a big challenge for the newly elected Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee.
It's a slap in the face for India's Central Bureau of Investigation or CBI and a massive embarrassment for all Indians. Accused of a cover-up and a deliberate botch-up in Purulia arms drop case, the CBI has predictably lost the case to get back the man who knows it all, Kim Devi, to India. Worst of all, Kim Devi himself says the CBI has tried its best to lose the case.
The CBI has lost its case to have Kim Devi extradited to India. The Danish High Court has rejected Denmark's decision to send Mr. Devi to stand trial in India for what's known as the Purulia arms case. The court said it was refusing the extradition on humanitarian grounds. The 5 judges expressed concern about reports of overcrowded prisons, police torture and poor human rights records in India. Devi, 49 years old, is wanted by India for dropping AK-47 rifles, anti-tank grenades, rocket launchers and over 25,000 rounds of ammunition over Purulia in West Bengal on the night of December 17, 1995. The Danish government had in April last year sanctioned Mr. Devi's extradition with 2 major preconditions: that he would not be given the death penalty in India and that if a local court sentenced him to prison, he would be allowed to serve his time in a Danish prison. Since the Danish government is defending its decision, the CBI was not a party in the case, but it sent a team to assist the prosecution with facts and Indian laws. In May, India was deeply embarrassed when that CBI team landed in Copenhagen with an arrest warrant that had expired. In December 1995, Mr. Devi and British national Peter Bleach took off in a cargo plane from the Gatwick airport in London. On board was a crew of 5 Latvians and 4 tons of weapons. They managed to airdrop the arms over Purulia on 17th December and escaped to Thailand. It would later emerge that while India had been tipped off to Devi's mission by Britain's MI6, Indian intelligence officials moved too slowly and inefficiently to stop the airdrop. Mr. Devi flew through Indian airspace undetected. He almost pulled that off on his return journey a few days later. The plane was intercepted over Mumbai and made to land. Mr. Devi managed to escape. Some reports state he bribed airport security officials. Mr. Bleach and the 5 Latvians were arrested. As a result of diplomatic pressure from Russia and the UK, the Latvians were allowed to return home in 2000. Mr. Bleach was freed in 2004. Mr. Devi was traced to Denmark in 2001. Since then, India has been trying to have him extradited. The Danish government had agreed to India's extradition request after assurances that Devi, while in detention, would be treated in line with European standards and not be given the death sentence. Also, in the event he is found guilty, he will serve his imprisonment in Denmark. But Mr. Devi contested this decision, and for a second time, a Danish court has pronounced in his favor. Questions that people are now asking: has the CBI done another cover-up job? Is the CBI trying to shield politicians being exposed for their role in Purulia arms drop case? Is the theory that politicians planned Purulia to topple the left government correct? With the CBI losing this man, answers to those questions we may never know.